Welcome to the Scottish Game Fair.
Welcome to this week's Outfitter Tales from a rather noisy but very busy Scottish Game Fair at Scone. Coming up this week we have...
So the first thing we have is...
You've forgotten?
No, because you're doing the first one.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing the middle one.
All right. Coming up this week, got dogs barking. Coming up this week we have you using the new Nocpix Bolt on a rabbit hunt.
Yeah, the L35R on some rabbits. Then we have an interview with Jake Swindells from Countryside Alliance.
We've got the follow-up to the field notes, you again on one of the calls.
Yeah, so using the Nordic Roe.
We've got a chap wandering right across the middle of the set. And finally...
and we've got somebody walking through the camera.
And finally, we have, it's good, I love it live, and finally we just got a reminder about the competition. And I hope you can hear this, but it is what it is. Coming up, clip.
So coming up, so this is me out doing some rabbits with my dad, or using the Nocpix L35R Bolt. Hi guys, what I just wanted to quickly do is give you a quick run through of the equipment I'm going to be using for this evening's rabbit task. What we've got here is a Nocpix Bolt L35R. So this comes as a 384 type processor, so not the top of the range, but it's not one of the sort of cheap ones. It's got a 35mm germanium lens and the dual batteries, so you've got the internal battery and a CR 1850 battery that you can fit in there, and the batteries combined will give you around 12 hours use. So also get the ballistic laser rangefinder, which also gives you the compatibility with the ballistic rangefinder. Compensation, it's basically there's got its own algorithm, so you input the data onto the scope, and what it'll do is it'll adjust a marker on the reticle to give you an aim point. One thing I will say about that is I've only roughly set this up, so I don't know how it will perform tonight, but basically what you have to do is tinker with it and make sure you've got all your data correct, i.e. your ballistic coefficient, your muzzle velocity, your weight. It's a lot of stuff to get, and obviously the height from the barrel to the centre of the barrel to the centre of the scope also. As I said, I've done this roughly, so I don't know how it's going to perform, but to get it to perform correctly, it's the same as anything. If you put bad info in, you're going to get bad info out, so we'll see how it goes. But I've had a play around with it, I've zeroed it, and the one shot of zeroing really works. I actually zeroed this within, it wasn't one shot, but it was 3 shots. It took me a couple of goes to get onto the actual target itself, because the way the scope and the rifle was lined up, it was actually off the target, so I had to use a couple to move in. I didn't just only fire 3 rounds, by the way. I just made sure it was on, and then a little play with it at different ranges. I've stuck it here on top of my CZ point, so that's a 2.2 rimfire that we'll be using tonight. I'll be using 42 grain subsonics just to keep it nice and quiet, because we will be shooting next to kennels. There you go, just a quick run through the kit, and let's see how it performs. Right, so this evening guys, we're out at one of my permissions that I've got up near Kilmarnock, near my father's place. He's out with me this evening, on the other end of the camera, unfortunately. What we've got here is it's a small holding, small farm, but it's also got dog kennels, and they run the kennels here. And there's a field just over there with a few rabbits in it. You'll see what I mean hopefully in a minute. I've had a quick look with the Nocpix Vista, and there's a few out already, so we'll just get set up and then we'll go out and we'll see how many we can smack. We've been asked to do this by the landowner, because over that side over here there's a rugby pitch getting built, and that's where all the rabbits used to hang out, and basically they've all been forced across the road onto her side, and she's got she puts horses in these fields now and again, and the last thing she wants is the rabbits digging holes into the field and the horses breaking their legs. So let's see how we got on tonight. Just a quick run through the kit again. So shooting sticks, the Viperflex Pro, the Vista thermal, this is what I'll be using to spot with, and obviously the bolt, Nocpix Bolt on top of the 2.2 subsonics. Let's see how we got on. Right, so there's a few out there at the moment. Hopefully we'll be able to see these on the Vista. So let's see if we can get ourselves a couple. Position a wee bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and use the rangefinder, see how well I've set it up. Try over this side. There's a bunch of them on the road. See, I won't be shooting on the road here because any misses and we're going to get a massive ricochet. The wee bit issue with the rangefinder then, I've obviously not put the ballistics data in correctly because the holdover wasn't the holdover it should be. But that's down to user error, as in my error, not the scope. So I'll try and see if we can refine it a wee bit on the rabbits. I've also been getting a couple of fires now and again with these rounds. As you'll probably see in the footage there's a couple of rabbits that I've shot at, and then the first rounds went nowhere near, and then bang on with the second round. Same distance, same point of aim. I don't know. I might have to try and give the rifle a good clean just in case. Right, well, they did hang around for a little while, but they all seem to have now gone to ground. I think we've probably shot about 20. We'll just go and see and recover them from the field and see how many we've got. As you saw there, final tally was 15, but as I said, there's probably a bit more in the grass there that we've not actually got to. Good night. Not been out long. Obviously I've got a bed to go to because I'm out with clients in the morning, so I don't want to be up too late, and I've got about an hour's drive back home. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that, guys. And just a quick thing on the Nocpix Bolt. I'm quite impressed with that actually. For around the £1,500 mark, it's a good little bit of kit. Ideal for your sort of rimfire, 1.7 HMR and close quarter Foxen type ranges. Plenty to see, you're not just shooting at blobs like some of the other cheaper stuff. But no, it does the job. And if I play about with it, I'll show you when I get the ballistic calculator working effectively. But no, that's all from me tonight, guys. Have a good night.
Okay, so this is going to be very quick because it's really noisy in here and the dancers have just finished. What did you think of the bolt?
Right, so the Bolt L35R, for your sort of 2.2, 177, 1.7 HMR air rifle stuff, it's ideal.
The quality of that image is good.
It's good, obviously it's not as good as the 640 type processors and stuff, but it's more than adequate.
But for the price back, but for the budget.
And bearing in mind you've got a ballistic calculator in there as well.
Yeah.
Obviously on the show, for that there I input some data, but it's not accurate data, so to get it more accurate you'd have to spend your time and actually do your muzzle velocities and stuff.
But easy set up, usual standard Nocpix
so
setting.
one shot zero.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Which is all good. And plenty of rabbits to go at.
Yeah, good. Right, so
next up we're going to talk to Jake.
Yeah, talking to Jake. So I mean, basically the background is we're at the game fair, and this is where we're bringing the links from.
Unless you never guessed.
And also a little bit noisy in the background, so we will continue the interview with Jake when we're probably going to go stalking actually for a fallow, and we'll recommence that interview because there's a lot of good work going on politically, which we need to cover. So we will do that. We will do that as a follow-up shot. But anyway, coming up. Hopefully everybody can hear it. So just an introduction with Jake from the Scottish Countryside Alliance. Really interesting bloke, but same as himself, they're ex-policeman, so we can't all have it that way. And he's listening to me. Right, so I'm sat here with Jake Swindells from the Scottish Countryside Alliance. Jake's the director for Scotland. Just give us a bit about your background, buddy.
A bit about the background briefly. So I've got a background in policing. I was in policing for 13 years, Merseyside and Cheshire Police. And after that, I had enough, to be quite honest. So I thought I need to go and do something that I've enjoyed doing as a kid. So a friend's dad was a gamekeeper over on the west coast in the southwest, so I used to go there quite a lot after school and help out, and it's his fault that I'm here now. So feeding pheasants, pest predator control, things like that. So I thought, well,
so you've done the whole sort of gambit.
Yeah.
All the way
so that's what I enjoyed doing. So I thought after I leave the police, I'll go and do that. So I retrained as a gamekeeper. I was on a single-handed shoot for 3 years. And then I started working in the industry as I am now.
And you do a lot of deer stalking as well now, don't you? Yeah.
Do a lot of stalking now, yeah. I love the sea fishing, I love stalking. I'll cast a fly when I can't get to the coast.
Try, yeah.
But yeah, I just outdoors all the way.
So, as we mentioned, Scottish Countryside Alliance, so the Director for Scotland, just give us a little bit of a sort of feeling for what the Countryside Alliance is all about.
Well, we're a political campaigning organisation, so we look at legislation that is going to be coming through the Parliament, and we dissect it, we have a look to see if it's going to be harmful for the Scottish environment, for the rural sector, and we'll engage with MPs and ministers to see if we can steer it into something that's workable, that actually would benefit the rural sector rather than.
Which has obviously just happened recently with the grouse.
The grouse debate. So Wild Justice brought a petition about.
Obviously this is going out when we're at the show, so there's something going on in the background, but hopefully you'll still be able to hear us. You will with the mic.
We'll try. I'll speak up a bit. Wild Justice brought a petition about to ban grouse shooting again for the third time, and it got 104,000 signatures, which means the petitions committee has to debate it in Westminster. So they did that, and it was an utter whitewash. You know, we briefed we briefed some politicians. They stood up and gave evidence, and I think it was one MP that actually stood up for Wild Justice against the banning for the banning of grouse shooting. So it was an utter whitewash, and quite rightly so. This is the third time we tried to ban it.
It's the third time that's come across. Yeah. So where does it stop? How much money are they wasting?
And this is the thing.
As a charity.
Yeah, it's a good point. So the likes of the RSPB and League Against Cruel Sports and Wild Justice and all these, the public perception is that these are doing nothing but good. But I think if the public knew that where the money was going and how it was being wasted,
people are donating money thinking it's going to help little innocent rabbits and foxes and stuff.
Exactly right.
Really, is it?
And what we do, we present evidence, whereas others present opinion. And quite often in Parliament, opinion is preferred over evidence.
It's all about votes, isn't it?
It is.
It is about facts.
Yeah, it is. And public perception is huge. So, but we'll continue to present evidence. We'll continue to fight for the rural sector in Scotland and the wider UK. And we're not going anywhere.
I'd just like to point out as well, those of you who have maybe seen the picture with Chris Packham, his head in his hands. Who took that photograph?
I took the original photograph. I was watching it from home, and I saw Mr. Packham with his head in his hands, and I couldn't resist. So.
Awesome. But no, well done. Anything else you'd like to add about the Countryside Alliance and how, obviously, the best way to help us out, guys, is join?
Yeah, please do. I mean, we're nothing without our members. We're member funded, and partnering with Outfits Tales as well, I think is just going to be a phenomenal thing. So we can help each other to spread the word. We can support each other, and in our sector, it's really important for everybody to work together and pull together. So yeah, membership is key to us. It's how we're funded. It's how we can carry on fighting.
Well done in what you're doing.
We'll keep working. We all pull together as a sector, or we try to. A lot of our work goes unseen because we do a lot of work in Parliament.
Yeah. So you're not fighting fires like some of the organisations. You're actually there when the match is getting lit.
We try.
Try and just blow it out as opposed to waiting until it's a.
Yeah. We're
involved. That analogy there.
I like that.
A blazing inferno.
Well, hopefully we can stop it from becoming a blazing inferno. But we're involved right from the outset, right from the instigation of any proposed bill. Prior to consultation stage as well. Our engagement with ministers and MPs is really key. So that's where we make.
And that's where obviously you're getting in at the sort of grassroots level, and then you're influencing what you're actually telling them what the legislation might want to be.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
so you're solving the problem by giving them the answer straight away.
We give them the answers, and then it's up to them whether they
listen
or
not.
Yeah. Which we don't win every battle.
No. But you never will.
We'll carry on trying.
Especially when it's opinion against fact.
Cool. Correct.
Well done what you do, buddy.
Thank you.
And it's been a great weekend. So that's all from me, as Chris would say.
That's all from him. Sorry, Chris.
Well, not.
Right, really nice that. Really nice to see that we've got an organisation in there that's working at before some of the legislation gets out there. Because I'm always asked to comment on it
and heading a lot of the problems off. Yeah,
we can get it in at that point with some science-based information,
facts,
which hopefully will stop some of this daft legislation coming out and then having to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough
Well
politics.
done, Jake, and his
yeah,
team.
good team that,
Yeah.
good organisation. So we're going to rattle through this, I think, because it's going to be noisy again in a minute.
Next
Your
up.
field notes.
Yep. So, row calling part 2. Hi guys, Rob Miller here from South Ayrshire Stalking and Talon Gear. Following on from our series of roe deer calls, we're going to move on now to the Nordic Roe. Again, other than obviously from the Buttolo, quite simple, not any real skill involved. Whereas the Nordic Roe, it requires the user, i.e. you, to have a bit of practice on this, and obviously it's up to you as to how good the call is and how you use it. I use this call mainly for 2 types of calls, as the Buttolo, so fawn in distress and obviously receptive female. 3 bands here will allow you to alter the pitch. Getting the pitch right is probably the most important, so practice, 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 but also test. If you're not getting any return from your calling and you know the rut is in full swing, just try adjusting the tone slightly, and that can be done by moving the rubber bands around. But you can adjust the tone by pressing harder on the green elastic band here with your lip. So just to show the different tones, I'm not adjusting the rubber. So I'm pressing my lip hard against the elastic band. Less pressure and very little pressure. So you need to work out which pressure works best for you, for which tone. You can actually make it, by adjusting the pressure as you're blowing, you can change the tone all the way through the call. Makes it sound more authentic. I always have my finger over the hole just to mute the sound a little bit. So the first call I'm going to go through again is the fawn stroke kid in distress. Short, sharp bips with short gaps in between. And then secondly, we're going to go into the receptive female, so receptive doe, which should get the does coming in. Similar tone, similar pitch, longer pauses in between. So more of a that was me adjusting the tone there because the second one wasn't right. So you just try it's all about feel and obviously sound. So get practicing, guys, and I'll look forward to the next instalment where we'll be going through the cherry tree roe deer call.
Quite timely now, isn't it? We're getting closer now. So another couple of weeks, hopefully people actually will start putting this into practice.
Yes.
And a reminder again, practice in the car or in the bathroom
at home
or in the garden. Do not practice in the field, guys, because it's just counterproductive. Yeah. And sometimes, to be honest, if they really come in, they'll come to a blinking squeaky boot. Sometimes it has to be a bit more professional. Yes. But when they come, that's great.
And they come full pelt. Right, next up then, just a wee reminder about our monthly competition for this month.
The deer sled.
Yep.
You will have seen that in action on last week's show, so you see how good they are. You've got one coming.
Yep.
So the guys at Animal Transit Boxes, thanks to them for donating this prize. Fantastic bit of kit. I'm
looking forward to actually using one on the Reds up in Argyll after this road rut. So.
Do you want to remind everybody how to vote?
Yeah, so to enter the competition, what you need to do is have subscribed to the YouTube channel, Outfitter Tales. If you haven't done so already, if you've already done so, you need to then follow us on the Facebook page, Outfitter Tales. Details will be down in the link below.
Tag in 3 friends?
And tag in 3 friends.
Okay, before it gets noisy again, well, it's lovely and quiet now, isn't it? We're just finishing and it's gone flipping quiet anyway. So it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
And as always, watch this space. And we didn't have any phones going off in this one. You turned yours off. Mine's over there with Anne. But we had that to contend with.
These things are sent to testers.
Live broadcasting.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Cheers, guys.